Something is right over there.
Is anyone down there?
Is it still there?
Hey, bears.
Take me back to old Yazoo. Everything up here is new. I can't stand it, just must land it.
Something is right over there. It's doing the same thing it did last time I was here. One moment there's nothing, and then right next to you it sounds like there's footfall or something. Whatever it is, it's just right up there. Did you hear that? Can you hear it? Whoa!
In May 2020, YouTuber Exploring Intuition returned to Dead Man Hollow in southern Ohio, a place he had previously explored with unsettling results. His last visit left him feeling uneasy, and he wanted to see if the strange experiences he had encountered were mere coincidences or something more. Dead Man Hollow is known for its dense forest, eerie rock formations, and an unsettling quietness that creeps in as the sun sets. The location has a long-standing reputation for paranormal activity, but some believe it's also home to something far more physical. After his first trip, where he experienced rocks being thrown at him in the darkness, some viewers speculated that he may have had an encounter with a Sasquatch. Determined to find answers, he ventured back into the forest, this time planning to stay longer and explore deeper.
Guys, what's going on? Today I am back here at Dead Man's Hollow in southern Ohio. If you watched the previous video I made here, you'll know that some pretty creepy things happened to me once the sun went down. So today I thought I would come back and give myself a little more time to get back there and let you guys see what it looks like in the daytime. There are some pretty cool rock formations that I want to check out. And if everything goes according to plan, we'll camp out for a little while until the sun goes down and we'll see what happens. So you guys want to stay tuned for that. All right, just coming in, I can already see that there is a tree down. And I hope this is not a sign of things to come. We've had a lot of storms here in the area lately, but it's already going to be quite a trek, and things like this are only going to make it more difficult. So let's see how it goes.
As he made his way along the trail, the landscape seemed familiar, yet unsettling. The area was filled with towering trees, abandoned creek beds, and large rock formations, giving it a secluded, untouched feel. Even in the daytime, the atmosphere was heavy. Something about Dead Man Hollow felt off, as if the forest itself was watching. He marked his path carefully, making sure he would find his way back before darkness fell.
This whole place back here, even in the daytime, really just kind of has the feel to it. The place kind of looks familiar. It flattens out a little bit right here. And it looks like a place that I would have explored before. So I'm gonna try to make some sort of a marker so I know where I left the trail at. And actually I can see that there's one already made here on the side of this tree. So I don't know if somebody done that on purpose or if that's just a lucky coincidence. But it looks like over in here is where I want to check out first. This is the mother trying to chase her fawn up the hill. They're out with their spots and everything. I saw one just the other day while I was driving.
As he explored deeper, the silence became more pronounced. The usual chirping of birds and rustling of small animals seemed to fade away, replaced by an almost oppressive stillness. Then, as the sun dipped below the horizon, the real unease set in.
All right, it's definitely starting to get dark. Thought I heard something coming this way, but it stopped. No, there it was again. It's on the other side of that road this time. Seems like tonight that's where the action's at. I'm gonna walk over this way, check it out.
As he sat at his campsite, the night seemed too quiet. The wind had stopped and the usual sounds of the forest had disappeared. Then something moved in the distance. It started as a faint rustling, barely noticeable. But then, a distinct crack, the sound of something heavy stepping on a branch. He held his breath, listening.
Something is right over there. It's doing the same thing it did last time I was here. Every time I start moving, it moves. That is the weirdest thing. I can hear it moving in there. But I can't hear anything over top of that whippoorwill. That doesn't sound like a buck to me. A buck would have just moved on or ran across by now or something.
The footsteps were slow and deliberate, as if something or someone was circling his campsite. The tension mounted as the sounds came closer. He shined his flashlight toward the trees, but the dense foliage made it impossible to see what was out there. Then, out of nowhere, a loud thud. It sounded as if a rock had been thrown, landing just a few feet away from his tent.
Whoa! Whoa! That is so crazy. One moment there's nothing, and then right next to you it sounds like there's footfall or something. Alright, I guess we'll just give that wound time to marinate. See what happens.
His heart pounded. Was this the same phenomenon he had experienced on his last trip? Was something or someone watching him again? For what felt like an eternity, the noises continued. Footsteps moving just beyond the tree line, the occasional sound of branches snapping, but never a clear sight of what was causing it. Despite the fear creeping in, he stayed put, determined to document as much as he could. But as the hours passed, the activity slowly faded, leaving him alone with the darkness and his thoughts.
Hey, so I am back at the Jeep now, and I gotta admit this is kind of one of the freakiest times for me, waiting to leave. But the park's going to close here in about 20 minutes, and I want to get out of here. I don't know if I'll come back here again in the future, but there is definitely something going on out here that I can't explain.
By morning, everything seemed normal again. The woods had returned to their usual quiet state, and there was no sign of what had been lurking the night before. But the experience had left an impression. Something had been out there watching. Whether it was a territorial animal, an unknown creature, or something supernatural, the mystery of Dead Man Hollow remains unsolved. One thing is certain. Whatever is in those woods doesn't want to be seen, but it definitely knows when someone is there.
Before moving forward, I'll really appreciate if you would take some time to subscribe to the channel and join this amazing community. About 95% of you guys aren't subscribed. It's free, plus I got a surprise for you all once we reach 50,000 subscribers. Now, back to the video.
Chris Baird is no stranger to adventure. His YouTube channel is filled with explorations of eerie locations, abandoned places, and unsettling encounters. However, nothing could have prepared him for the night he spent in a remote, reportedly haunted forest, a night that would leave him questioning everything he believed about the supernatural. What started as an exciting overnight stay in an abandoned cabin quickly turned into something far more disturbing. As Chris and his friend Jasko made their way through the dense woods, the atmosphere grew heavier with each step. The deeper they went, the more unsettling the silence became. There were no usual sounds of wildlife, no rustling leaves, no distant howls, nothing. It was as if the forest itself was waiting.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, tonight we're in a haunted forest again. Now, Jazz and I are on a road trip, so it's only right that we start this video off exactly how it's supposed to go. We're supposed to split up right now, but And yeah, I'm just gonna get rolling here because it's the right thing to do, right? Haunted forest. It's creepy, it's wild, it's weird being by yourself. Now, as you guys can tell, this is heavily populated. This forest apparently has a lot of trails all the way throughout. I guess people come here in the daytime, snowshoe, all that fun stuff, but I'm not gonna be doing any of that tonight. We're strictly here for the paranormal. I'm actually getting necrometer out right now. Sound on, sounds off. And let's see if we can get some ghosts to talk to us tonight. So we are running, we're rolling, you guys. My name is Chris. Camera's froze. It says there. The camera's literally froze right now.
After what felt like an eternity, they finally reached the cabin. It was old, decayed, and abandoned for years, yet it held an undeniable presence. The broken windows and crumbling walls hinted at a place that had long been forgotten, but it felt as if something never left. As they explored the interior, an uneasy feeling settled over them. Dust covered every surface, furniture stood frozen in time, and remnants of past visitors lay scattered around. But it wasn't the decay that put them on edge. It was the overwhelming sensation of being watched.
Like,
I say it all the time, but like, imagine you encountered me and Chris in the wild, and you notice us literally like just talking to the air. You would think we're insane if you didn't know what we were at.
what the hell is that? Is it in the bathroom?
I definitely flushed.
At the door?
This is the second time that's happened.
Oh, Jesus, give me my light turned on out there. I don't see, bro, there's no way. The thing is, like, where this cabin is, like, there are other buildings around, but no one is here in the wintertime. This is like a location that I don't even know why people aren't here, because it's a beautiful location. But
it's just borderline inaccessible. Like,
yeah, the snow. There's like 3-4 feet of snow in some places, so I don't know.
Then the noises started. A loud bang echoed through the cabin, followed by the distinct sound of footsteps coming from the next room. At first, they dismissed it as the house settling or the wind moving debris. But as they stood in silence, listening intently, the sounds grew closer. Deliberate, slow, calculated steps. The temperature seemed to drop and the air inside became heavy. They turned their flashlights toward the doorway, expecting to see something, or someone. But the hallway was empty. The footsteps had stopped just outside their field of vision. For a moment there was nothing. Then, a whisper. Faint, almost indistinguishable, but undeniably there. The feeling of dread became overwhelming. Something was inside the cabin with them.
Wait, is that shower curtain? Did you hear?
That was 100%. Hold on.
What is going on? I understand that was a fridge, but that sounded like a shower curtain before that. Hello? All right, I have to check and see if the shower curtain was like closed, because it is definitely like
Hold on,
pulled
there's
back.
2 bathrooms though.
There's 2 bathrooms.
One right here.
That door's not even open.
Oh,
Doesn't have a
No, shower
curtain? I didn't mean to talk to you, but like you were in here earlier doing Bloody Mary, which I probably won't do. But like, what happened when you were in here? Because I freaked out because your flashlight fell off the table.
yes. So I was standing right here, doors closed. You were standing right out there, and it sounded like a massive thud came from the other side of the house, where like the living room is.
Yeah.
And it seems like that's where we were getting a lot of problems with like the television turning on.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Kind of straight.
It is
Like that?
just like that, yeah.
I have a still camera set up out there. I haven't talked about it with you guys. It's literally sitting right there facing that room. I don't even want to go out there because I just want to like, I mean, I'll look quick, but.
Despite the growing fear, they decided to stay. They wanted to document proof of whatever was happening. Setting up their cameras, they tried to capture any evidence of the entity they were now certain was there. But the real terror came later. As the night stretched on, the activity escalated. Objects seemed to move on their own, shadows danced along the walls, and the whispering became more distinct, though the words remained unintelligible. Every few minutes they would hear something. A knock, a creak, the sound of something shifting in another room. Then, at the peak of the night's disturbances, The door that had remained shut the entire time suddenly creaked open. Slowly, deliberately, as if something wanted them to see. That was enough.
What did I just see in the kitchen? It was a child size, bro. Ethan, are you a child? It was like a response. We needed a response.
The feeling of fear had transformed into something much worse, a sense of impending danger. Whatever was in that cabin did not want them there. Without hesitation, they grabbed their equipment and left. The walk back through the woods was just as unnerving as their time in the cabin. The silence followed them, but this time there was something else. A presence. A feeling that something was walking just beyond their view, keeping pace with them. Once they reached their vehicle, the weight of what had happened finally hit them.
Pretty large house. Now, they say that rituals were done in this house. They say that... Oh.
Can you knock on a tree for us or make a noise so we know you're here? I'm asking for Justin or whatever is communicating with us, please. It's like tapping.
Mm-hmm.
Here, I'm gonna give you this. Let's trade off. Because as soon as I grab this, it just doesn't say anything. So I'm gonna grab the camera. Okay, I'll let you go in front of me if you don't mind.
Sure.
I'll let you run the lead for a little bit.
Hello, spirits.
It just got really quiet, so I'm not sure what's going on, but. Hello. Bro, I'm just. Oh my.
Good chance that
Hello?
falls sometime soon.
Yeah. Okay, well, I was just about to say that. I swear to God, you guys, if I have the footage from earlier when I was walking by myself, what'd be the craziest video I've ever captured in my whole entire life? The noises I was hearing, the things that were happening around me, makes me think my camera probably wasn't recording because it was so crazy, but oh.
Chris, who had always approached the paranormal with skepticism, was left questioning everything. Was it simply an overactive imagination, heightened by the eerie environment? Or had they truly encountered something beyond explanation?
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Someone behind us? What was that?
You know what's really funny?
What's that?
I just pulled out the maps. Hello, is anyone down there?
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's a yes.
Yeah. Can you show yourself for us? Show some skin.
Justin?
Oh,
Those behind you.
God.
Those behind you.
Can you keep walking, please?
Dog. All right, you pick where we're going next.
Uh,
What's the next course of action, Chris?
I say we just try to walk a little farther forward and just see if we see the house. And if we don't, I say we turn around. 'Cause
Sure.
I don't know that it's here. Like, I don't know if we're in the right part.
The viewers of the video had their own theories. Some believed the cabin was haunted by spirits who refused to leave, while others speculated that the disturbances were caused by something far darker. A few even suggested that they had encountered a physical presence, a person lurking in the shadows, waiting for the right moment. Even those who don't believe in ghosts couldn't deny the fear captured in the footage. Whether paranormal or not, the events of that night left an unshakable impression, proving that sometimes it's better to leave certain places undisturbed. This video was uploaded on January 16th, 2025, by the YouTube channel Jenks and Matilda. It captures what was supposed to be a thrilling jungle adventure, but quickly turned into one of the scariest experiences of their lives. The journey began as an exciting exploration of Chitwan National Park in Nepal, an area known for its diverse wildlife, dense jungle, and breathtaking landscapes. The couple, accompanied by their guide Dennis, set off on a canoe ride down a crocodile-infested river before transitioning into a jungle trek. From the very beginning, there was an underlying tension to their adventure. Their guide explained the seriousness of the trek, noting that the army must be informed of all visitors entering and exiting the jungle, a requirement that immediately hinted at the potential dangers lurking within. The canoe ride itself was an eerie experience. As they floated down the river, massive crocodiles lined the banks, some resting motionless in the sun, while others lurked beneath the murky waters, their sharp teeth visible just above the surface. While the experience was nerve-wracking, it was only a small taste of what was to come. As they stepped off the boat and into the jungle, the real danger began. Their guide warned them about wild animals, particularly tigers and rhinos, emphasizing that staying in one place for too long could increase the risk of an encounter.
In the jungle.
Anyway, I'm gonna let you know for the Chiton National Park just certain time. Otherwise, tiger come. That's not to stay in the one place. It's long. They smell us and then come.
They smell
Okay.
it. So okay. So now you are right in the Chiton National Park.
With this in mind, they proceeded cautiously, walking single file through the dense undergrowth. Then, everything changed. A sudden noise from behind stopped them in their tracks. It was not a typical jungle sound. It was heavy, deliberate, and too large to be a common animal. A wild elephant was charging toward them. The group immediately scattered into the bushes, trying to find cover. Unlike in other parts of the world where elephants are seen as gentle giants, wild elephants in Nepal can be incredibly aggressive, particularly if they feel threatened or territorial.
We knew we needed to get as far into the bush as we could. And at this point, we had no idea where Dennis was. We had absolutely no idea who Ronaldo was.
Is Dennis okay? Dennis.
We sat in this bush for a total of 18 minutes.
It's a wild elephant.
The elephant was in complete stealth mode.
Do we observe anything? Is it still there? I've got no idea.
Our guide explained how clever these animals are, and it was more than likely waiting for us to come out of that bush.
My mom and dad are gonna kill me watching this.
With no clear view of the elephant and still not knowing where Dennis was, we needed a plan.
We have to go lower.
For what felt like an eternity, they remained hidden in silence, unsure of where the elephant had gone. 18 minutes passed. To make matters worse, the elephant had been moving stealthily, an unusual and deeply unsettling behavior for such a large creature. Their guide later explained that wild elephants are extremely intelligent. They observe and wait before making a move. This meant that the elephant was likely lingering nearby, waiting for them to make a mistake.
It's been head on with a wild elephant.
Okay, so the elephant is now walking all the way down there. We did even get through the safety briefing before we was running. I cannot believe it.
We're now behind him, which is behind that one. Elephants, wild ones. Unpredictable. Don't ask me why I'm still filming. We're with one of the guides. Oh, mate.
Yeah, where's Dennis? Either tried to detour the elephant or he's abandoned ship. I don't know. Who knows?
Whoa.
There it is.
Box, yeah? Very big tusks.
Big tusks.
With no clear view of their surroundings, they remained frozen. If they left their hiding spot too soon, they risked running directly into the path of an unpredictable and dangerous animal. Finally, after nearly 20 minutes of sheer terror, Dennis reappeared and signaled that the coast was clear. The elephant had finally left. The group emerged from their hiding spot, shaken but relieved. Their guide explained just how close they had come to disaster. If they had hesitated for even a few seconds longer before running, the elephant could have easily trampled them. Despite their brush with danger, the couple decided to continue their trek, though their nerves were now on edge.
Deer. You can see it.
Deer! Just seconds before we saw the deer running across the road, we'd learnt the fact that deers usually run from something. That something, you guessed it, tigers. Chitwan National Park homes 128 Bengal tigers.
When we see the deers run, we run.
While they had originally planned a trip to immerse themselves in nature, they left with a newfound respect for its dangers. Their trek through Chitwan National Park had been more than just an adventure. It had been a near-death experience they would never forget. The YouTube channel 401 Files is well known for outdoor adventures, survival challenges, and occasional deep dives into the unexplained. But one particular trip into the wilderness turned into something much darker than the usual camping experience. Setting out into the dense forest, the uploader was well prepared for a night under the stars. The location was remote, far from any major roads or human activity, making it the perfect spot for an undisturbed camping experience.
Okay, so it's decision time. Decisions. I've come into this part of the wood now, and it's mega dense. Like, I'm talking, there's a tree every 2 foot, kind of dense. And my thought process right now is tonight in here is going to be extremely, extremely dark. And if shit hits the fan, for whatever reason, I'm going to have to make my way out of these woods, which is going to be nigh on impossible. So, alternative 2 is I find another part of the wood where the trees are more widely spread apart, but then I've got the thing of I can see all around me 360 degrees quite a distance, which is equally as scary in my opinion.
As he set up camp, the usual sounds of nature filled the air. Birds chirping, leaves rustling, and the occasional distant howl of an animal. Everything seemed normal at first. The sun dipped below the horizon, and the forest slowly gave way to the deep silence of the night.
I've got all these little sticks to create the perimeter. I've got my fire there, my bike obviously, so I'm going to be sleeping here next to the fire, not too close though obviously, because I've got an inflatable mattress and I don't want that to blow up. One lesson I've always learned, really helps, is keep your firewood close to where you're sleeping, because the last thing you want to do is be getting up through the night when it's dark to try and put more wood on the fire. And yeah, that's pretty much me. I'll give you another angle.
He started his fire, prepared his sleeping arrangements, and took in the peaceful isolation. But as the hours passed, an uneasy feeling began to creep in. It started with subtle noises, branches snapping in the distance, faint rustling just beyond the tree line. At first, he dismissed them as small animals moving through the underbrush. But as the night progressed, the sounds became more distinct. Something was out there and it was getting closer. Then, without warning, a blood-curdling scream echoed through the forest. It wasn't the sharp cry of an owl or the eerie call of a fox. It was something much deeper, much more human-like, yet completely unnatural. The sound sent a wave of fear through him. For the first time, he began to wonder if he was truly alone in the woods.
I need to think of all the animals could potentially be living in the same area as me, walking about, doing their own thing, so then I just don't jump to paranormal or mysterious type things. So yeah, that's always something to be wary about, is who else is living in this wood other than me. But yeah, I'll keep you posted. It's going to be dark soon, with maybe within the next hour and a half, 2 hours. So yeah.
He grabbed his flashlight and scanned the darkness, searching for any sign of movement. The light revealed nothing but towering trees and thick foliage. Minutes passed, and just as he started to convince himself that it was just his imagination, another scream rang out, this time even closer. The sound was impossible to ignore. It carried an unsettling tone, almost as if it were meant to draw him deeper into the woods. The intensity of the moment was suffocating. He knew he had two choices: investigate or stay put, and wait for daylight. He chose the latter, retreating into his tent and sealing himself inside. Sleep was out of the question. Every sound, every movement outside the thin fabric of his shelter sent his adrenaline surging. For hours, the forest remained eerily silent. Then, just when he thought the worst was over, the feeling of dread returned. Something was moving outside his tent. The sound was deliberate, slow, almost calculated. Whatever was out there wasn't just passing through. It was aware of him. His breath hitched as he heard light footsteps circling his tent. Each step was measured, cautious, as if something was deciding what to do next.
Wow, it's a good job I know what the hell that is, because I would be shitting my pants right now. Somebody please explain to me why I'm walking around in the dark. On my own, in the woods.
Then, silence. Minutes passed, then hours. The terror of the night stretched on, each moment heavier than the last. But as dawn finally began to break, the atmosphere slowly shifted. The tension in the air lifted, and the forest gradually came back to life. Birds started chirping again, the wind moved through the trees, and the overwhelming feeling of being hunted finally faded. As soon as the sun provided enough light, he packed up his gear and left as quickly as possible. There was no hesitation. He wanted to put as much distance between himself and whatever had been lurking in the darkness. Even after leaving the woods, the experience stayed with him. Viewers of the video debated what could have been out there. Some suggested a wild animal, others believed it was something paranormal. Some even theorized that it could have been a feral person living in the wilderness, watching him from the shadows. In December 2021, YouTuber Novice Wild Camper uploaded a video on his YouTube channel, documenting what was supposed to be a peaceful solo camping trip in White Edge, a remote part of the Peak District in England. However, his final camp of the year turned into an unnerving experience that left him questioning what exactly was lurking outside his tent that night. From the very start of the video, the atmosphere seemed calm, yet eerie. The weather was ideal for camping. Clear skies and moderate temperatures, perfect for taking in the stunning views of the moorlands.
Hello YouTube. Somehow again, last camp of 2021. And for a change, somewhere different. So I'm at the Peak District. Been working up this way, so thought I'd take the opportunity to come and sneak out into Mesna country. Did a request on Facebook for places to go, so I've picked out somewhere which Dan Jones sent me. So thanks Dan, if you're watching. Hopefully it'll be a good one. It's not too far a walk from the car park. Hopefully some good views.
Excited for a quiet night in the wilderness, he hiked to his chosen spot, set up camp, and prepared for a relaxing night under the stars. As the night wore on, everything appeared to be going smoothly. He sat by his tent, enjoying the stillness of the landscape, hoping to capture some night photography while soaking in the solitude of the wilderness. However, as the hours passed, he began to feel a growing unease. The usual sounds of owls, rustling leaves, and distant wildlife faded, leaving behind an unsettling silence. Then the first strange noise broke the quiet. It was deep, guttural, and unfamiliar.
Right, so I've heard deer, I've heard foxes make some really weird noises at night. But I don't know if you heard that.
A growl that sounded far too close for comfort. At first, he thought it might be the wind playing tricks on him, but as he listened more carefully, it became clear that something was nearby. The sound was low and menacing, carrying an unnerving sense of warning. He grabbed his camera and started recording, hoping to capture proof of what he was hearing. But the growling persisted, circling his campsite, as if whatever was out there was watching him. The thought of a wild animal crossed his mind, but no known predator in the Peak District matched the deep, rumbling growl he was hearing. It wasn't the sound of a fox or badger. It was something different.
Did you hear that? That's quite eerie. It does not sound like a deer. Definitely doesn't sound like a fox. Odd.
As the hours dragged on, the sounds continued intermittently, with periods of complete silence in between, as if whatever was out there was waiting, observing. The feeling of being watched was overpowering. At one point, he heard the sound of heavy movement, branches snapping, something large shifting just beyond the glow of his lantern. Then came the worst moment of the night. A loud snapping sound, as if something had stepped on a large branch, echoed through the still air. The growling returned, this time closer than ever. At this point, he faced a difficult decision. Should he step outside with his flashlight to confront the source of the sound, or stay inside and hope that whatever it was would eventually move on? He chose the latter, remaining completely silent, barely even breathing, listening for any sign of movement.
Apart from those weird noises last night, it was a very quiet one. Took ages to get off to sleep, but slept okay in the end. I haven't checked the thermometer, but when I checked it in the middle of the night, it was about 2 degrees. So I didn't get down too cold last night, but it was chilly enough.
Minutes felt like hours, but eventually the noises faded. The growling stopped and the forest returned to an unnatural silence. Even still, sleep was impossible. He lay awake, waiting for any further disturbances. When morning finally arrived, relief washed over him. He stepped outside, half expecting to find tracks or signs of an animal nearby, but there was nothing. No footprints, no disturbed foliage, just the lingering unease from the night before.
Lovely sunrise. It's really brightened up. Clouds have all completely gone.
Looking back, he couldn't shake the feeling that something had been out there, watching him. But whether it was a territorial animal, an unseen predator, or something far more mysterious, remains unknown. Matthew Stone and his father were hiking in Glacier National Park when they decided to take a break at a secluded campsite. What was meant to be a peaceful stop quickly turned into a tense encounter when 2 massive grizzly bears emerged from the trees. With no way to escape, running wasn't an option. It would have triggered the bears' natural predatory instinct, making the situation far more dangerous. Instead, they remained calm and composed, avoiding any sudden movements that could provoke aggression. The bears, while intimidating, didn't immediately display signs of hostility.
I mean, let's just casually talk. I think that's good. Okay. Just casually talk. They see us. They see us, they hear us. Hey, bears.
They appeared curious, sniffing the air and cautiously observing the two hikers. Still, grizzlies are unpredictable, and one wrong move could have turned the situation deadly.
Hey, we're good. We're good here. We're good. Hey there.
Matthew and his father slowly backed away, keeping their voices steady in an attempt to reassure the animals that they weren't a threat.
You're just curious. Just slowly, don't go towards them. Hey, bears.
After what felt like an eternity, the bears finally lost interest and wandered back into the wilderness. Though they escaped unharmed, the encounter was a stark reminder of how unpredictable nature can be. Had they panicked, the outcome could have been entirely different. And with that, I'll take your leave. As always, don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, let me know your thoughts on this video. Even criticisms are appreciated. Don't forget to check out more disturbing videos that will be on your screen in about 3 seconds. I'm out.